What's up, guys? Welcome to week 27 of Books Being Sick. I am Nick. Thank you for being here. I almost wasn't sure if I was going to get this recorded today. It has been one of those weeks, one of those nonstop weeks where it has felt like since last Sunday. Not yesterday, but the Sunday before. It has just kind of been like you wake up, constant stream of things until you close your eyes at night. And it's just been like, I was a little sick last week too. It's been a very chaotic week. Birthdays, illnesses, work, just so much work, and not a lot of reading, which is kind of a bummer. So it's one of those update videos today where I'm going to go over what I read in the month of June. June was not the best month, but I'm excited to show you what I got into anyways. And then I have what I'm going to be reading in July, and I feel like I'm entering a rut. The last 10 to 14 days, I've felt like I'm going into rut territory. I don't know what's going on, but I don't like it. I gotta bust out of this fast, because one thing with me is if I get into a rut, I can stay there for a very, very long time if I don't just kind of force myself out of it. So I've picked just 4 books for the month of July to read that I think are going to help me just kind of make it go away, because I don't like being here. It sucks. It's the worst. So yeah, this is probably going to be a shorter video today. I know I say that virtually almost every single week, but I do feel as though that may actually be the case this week. So for the beginning here, I'm going to show you what I read in the month of June, and I'm going to blame 2 of these books for putting me in a rut. These are the 2. I started the month strong. By June 5th, I had already finished 2 books. I read Notes from Underground by Dostoevsky. This was a really fun, weird but powerful kind of little book about a man who is just kind of telling his life story, basically. It's very sarcastic. It's very hilarious. It's very cringy. It's got a lot going on. And Dostoevsky's writing, again, this is only the 2nd book that I've read by him, but it is so different and so interesting. And it really is a type of writing where you need to let your brain adjust to how he kind of approaches storytelling. But once you do make that adjustment in your brain and you can kind of figure out what exactly to expect, it becomes pretty digestible, and I really, really enjoyed this. I wouldn't let Dostoevsky intimidate you if you've ever wanted to dive into him. Notes from Underground, I think, would be a good place to start. However, if I were you, I would probably start with White Nights instead. I think that was a really good starting point for me. I plan to jump into Crime and Punishment real soon, actually. I'm just trying to figure out what the best translation to read is. So if you guys have any recommendations, please let me know, because I think I finished this one and a lot of people were telling me oh, this is one of the least recommended translations of it. But then I was like, oh, okay, and I looked it up, and then all I could find were people saying this translation is great, and I got really confused. So if you guys have any recommended translations for Crime and Punishment, I would love to hear your thoughts and hear what you have to say, because I know that plays a very important role in your enjoyment of the book. And so, again, please let me know. After I read Notes from Underground, I read Treasure Island, and I quite enjoyed this. I was really expecting this to kind of just be a really quick, whatever sort of kids book, you know what I mean? But I thought it was actually pretty fun. I knew nothing about Treasure Island going into this, and then it was oh, Long John Silver. I know, that's a fish restaurant or something like that. Some recognizable names in here, and the story itself was, it's not going to blow your mind by any stretch of the image, but it's a fun read, and if you like adventure, it's just pure adventure from beginning to end. So you'll like it for that reason alone, and it's a classic, and it's a quick read. This is 200 pages, just over 200 pages. It's not going to end your career, and I would recommend it. So started the month off strong, started the month off with those 2. I really enjoy both. I'm gonna need a lot of that, because I'm not sick anymore, but I'm just it's just we're leaving, but we're not gone yet. So I need a lot of that to just kind of get it out of here. So next up, I read one of my favorites of my reading career so far, and that is Jurassic Park. I can't find the cover. I hope that'll show up there. It is Jurassic Park. And I was looking forward to reading this one. I've talked about Jurassic Park a lot on here, so I'm going to be pretty quick here. I think I almost have a full video on this book. It was so fantastic, so surprising, so out of nowhere. I've always loved the movie, and so I thought reading the book was going to be kind of like, okay, like I've seen the movie so many times that a lot of this is going to just kind of be rehashed. The book is quite a bit different from the movie, surprisingly. You know, all the key sort of elements are still sort of the same, but the half the characters that survive in the movie Jurassic Park don't make it in this book, and some of them are quite surprising. Some of the storylines are quite a bit different. Some of the character directions are quite a bit different, and it's great. Michael Crichton is a great writer, and I think that this book was fantastic. And I'm gonna transition into my next book here in saying that I left feeling like Michael Crichton might be one of my new favorite writers. I can't wait to dive into everything by him because this really was that good. If you're looking for something with short chapters as well that you can kind of just like plop on the couch, read for 5 or 10 minutes, and feel like you've accomplished something, also a great book for that because each chapter. It was surprising when there was a chapter more than 10 pages, because that didn't happen very often. We're talking like 3, 4, 5 pages typically per chapter. And I love books like that because I can just sit down, read a chapter for 10 minutes and like put it down and feel like I'm not lost, move around, do something, whatever, come back. When a book is like 40, 50 pages long per chapter, it's a bit of a downer for me. Like I'm still going to enjoy it. I'm not going to complain, but I do love a short chapter book. So after I finished Jurassic Park, I was like, I got to get right into some more Michael Crichton, and I was in full dinosaur mode. And so I picked up The Lost World by him. And right off the bat, I was like, okay, this is fire. This is fire. This is great. This is a vibe. I'm trying to use words to keep me young. This slaps. But this was really great to start off. Here's the thing. I think there are rumors that Michael Crichton didn't actually have plans to write a sequel to The Lost World, to Jurassic Park, and that a higher up, maybe even Steven Spielberg himself, came to Michael Crichton and was like, the movie is the biggest movie of all time. You need to write a sequel. And so he was like, okay. And I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is, you can kind of tell. I finished this yesterday, and it was like, it's fine, it's adventure-y, it's probably more than you can ask for from a Jurassic Park sequel. Like, it is just fine. If you love Jurassic Park, as I did, you'll like this. You really will like it, but you probably will feel a little like you wanted more. Like maybe some things could have been a little different. Maybe some things felt a little rushed. Maybe it didn't feel as kind of like fine-tuned as Jurassic Park. There are some lines in here that are super kind of like almost kind of pulled me right out of it. Like the one I mentioned in my last video, they're asking a character if he would ever leave the island, and he was like, not in a million years. Not in 65 million years. And there's another line too where Sarah Harding, it's like the narration, and it's like she could hear the Tyrannosaurus Rexes roaring from up top. It's as though they had been roaring her entire life. It's like, what? I don't know. There were a few lines like that were kind of like, I don't know. That being said, don't let me deter you from reading it. If you like Jurassic Park, you'll like it. Not my favorite book ever, though. And then, I know this might come as a surprise. So I've been reading this book here by Jeff Eugenides, and 60, 70 pages into this book, I was like, this is very easily a contender for a top 10 for me. Like this is going to fall into my top 10 immediately. I was loving it so much. And then I hit about the halfway point, about 140 pages. And I don't know what the heck happened, but I have completely fallen out of this. I don't know if it's just getting too wordy, or if it's like, come on, like, where is the story going? Like, let's do something here. I don't know what it is. That's kind of had me fall out of this book a little bit, but I haven't finished it yet. I still need to finish it, but so my opinion may still change. But midway through this book, I'm actually feeling a little bit tired and a little bit like, okay, I don't like. Let's go. Let's like, and I'm not like an action guy. I typically hate like action scenes in books, and I like slowness, but it's almost feeling like, what's the point here? which is weird because I was totally in, the first 70 pages. I was like, this is like for me. And then I've kind of fallen out of it. So I don't really know what's happening. It could very well be that I was kind of feeling like the Lost World was kind of putting me in a rut, and then this book by Jeff Eugenides, I was like, I'm loving this, and then it's like the ruttiness from the Lost World transferred over to this one, and it's like, I don't know what's going on, but I 100% am in a rut right now, but I am determined to break out of it. I have some exciting news, though. I am going to show you what I'm reading for July, including the book that won the Sick Book Club poll this past month. It was a fight between American Psycho and High Fidelity. It really looked like American Psycho was going to win. I was actually almost positive that American Psycho was going to win, and then, out of nowhere, High Fidelity pulled it off by Nick Hornby. I am so excited to read High Fidelity. This is my wife's favorite book ever, and so I'm excited to read it for that reason. But I think that this is just going to be a really fun, little music-y, heartbreaky sort of read that I'm in the mood for, and this to me feels like a rut buster. So I'm pumped. You know what I mean? So this is the Sick Book Club for July. If you want to kind of join along, again, I'll have the Patreon Sick Book Club linked below. But if you want to just kind of softly follow along here, this is what we're reading, and I'm really looking forward to it. I am going to start that right away. I'm ready to break out of my rut. Other books that I have here that are going to help me get out of this rut are this one here called Hard Rain Falling by Don Carpenter. I follow this lovely guy named Tony on social media. I will try to link him below as well. But he's fantastic, and he did a review on this book that I had never heard of. And one thing that he said was that if you love that John Williams book that I love so much, that again is one of those titles where I feel like if you say the title, it like hurts the thing. I'm so sorry, but it's a thing. However, he said if you like that book, that you will love this book. And so that line alone, I was like, I've never bought a book so fast. I was just like, done. Showed up the next day, and I was psyched. So that's going to be another one. Really looking forward to it. I'm going to read Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. This is another one that was going to be an option for the Sick Book Club for July. It didn't win, but this is actually... You know what? This is like a short read, under 200 pages. It's going to be, I know it's going to be a fun time, so I'm excited to read that one. And this is the only other book that I have for July. And as part of the Sick Book Club, we have been doing a read along of The Dark Tower by Stephen King. And this is the month where I can continue on because I had already read up to The Wastelands, and now we are going into Wizard and Glass. So I've been meaning to read this one for such a time, and now I am going to be forced to read it, and I'm excited about it. This is a chunky book. Like, this is, I mean, we're talking like 900 pages. This will be up there with one of the longest books that I've ever read, but I'm ready, and I actually am kind of weird in the sense that I feel like long books actually help break me out of my rut. I know I usually recommend to people that if you're in a rut, just read a bunch of short books. But for me, I don't know why, long books just really help me break out of it. So I'm excited. I might start this right away along with High Fidelity because they're both so different that I feel like I'm not going to get confused. This, I believe, acts as sort of a prequel to the Dark Tower series. So that's going to be a good time. So that's what I'm reading for July. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to it. I actually had one other thing that I wanted to share with you before we go here. I hope this does not come across as braggy. I am still kind of getting used to being like a book guy and whatever, and have people like, oh, can we send you something? You know, it's very bizarre and weird, but I do appreciate it. And I've talked about the Folio Society on here a whole bunch and on my socials and whatever. And Folio Society reached out to me and they were like, hey, thanks for talking about Folio Society. Can we send you? Are there any books that you'd like us to send you? And I was like, okay, sure, that sounds the best. So what I did was I picked out two for myself, kind of selfishly, and I'll show you what they are. And then they also sent me this one here. This is friggin' beautiful. This is a copy of The Hobbit by Tolkien. Look at this friggin' thing. It is absolutely gorgeous. It feels amazing in the hands. This is not an ad or anything like that. This is just truly how I feel. And they sent me this one to give away on my Patreon Sick Book Club, which I already have. Someone already won it. So that's going to be sent out tomorrow. Congrats to them. And I'll quickly show you the other ones that I picked up for myself here. This is Shirley Jackson's We Have Always Lived in the Castle. Just a beautiful, beautiful slipcover here. The art is almost what makes these books as amazing as they are. Like, and then you pull it out. Look at that. Come on. You know, look. It's just so pretty. I just feel very, very, just, I don't know, whatever, to own these things, that I could not be more thankful. Look at this. You know? Oh, and it just like, oh, it just feels good. I was like, do I even show these? Because I really don't want to come across as like, but whatever. So here we got Song of Achilles is the other one that I picked by Madeline Miller. This is a book that I absolutely loved. I loved the Song of Achilles. I read it in a day. And this one is the most luxurious feeling one. I mean, I can't really explain to you texture wise. It just feels gorgeous. It feels shiny. It feels everything. And there's some beautiful color illustrations in this one as well that I think just fit the tone and the vibe of the book so well. Love this one here. You know, it's just some gorgeous stuff here. They did a great job. And again, I love the slipcovers. I love the slipcovers. It just kind of adds an extra punch to the niceness of these books. So thank you so much to Folio Society for sending those over to me. I'm very, very, really appreciate it, honestly. And thank you for sending a book to give away. That was really fun. And I think, again, sorry, I was like, this is going to be a 5-minute video for sure. And it's about the normal length. So I should probably just stop ever saying that. So thank you again. This has been week 27 of Books Being Sick. I have been Nick, and I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching these long-winded, somewhat chaotic, unplanned book videos where I don't really know what I'm doing. And so, yeah, again, very appreciated. I'll link the stuff below for you guys if you're interested. And yeah, we'll see you next week. All right. Bye-bye.